The vast darkness of space stretched endlessly, broken only by the cold metallic gleam of the Calron fleet. 327 battleships moved with calculated precision, their sensors scanning the small blue planet ahead. Earth looked unremarkable, a tiny sphere spinning quietly in the cosmic void. Inside the lead ship's command center, Captain Rook observed the planetary data scrolling across holographic displays. His scaled hands moved swiftly, dismissing preliminary reports with casual contempt. Humans were primitive, their technology laughably basic. The Calron had conquered hundreds of civilizations, and this would be no different. Dr. Kim Hyunwoo sat in a hidden underground facility deep beneath the Pacific Ocean. Monitors surrounded him, each displaying complex data streams and satellite tracking information. His fingers moved quickly across quantum-encrypted communication panels, watching the incoming fleet with a calm that betrayed no emotion. The Calron communications system pinged with an incoming transmission. Most officers ignored it, assuming it was another desperate plea from the soon-to-be-conquered species. Captain Rook barely glanced at the message, his reptilian eyes focused on invasion protocols. But this transmission was different. The message was short, precise, cryptic. It contained a series of mathematical sequences and quantum encryption that seemed to dance between language and pure information. Most communication officers dismissed it as random noise. Dr. Kim watched and waited. The Calron fleet continued its approach, massive ships blocking out starlight. Each vessel carried enough firepower to obliterate entire continents. Their technological superiority had crushed civilizations for centuries. Shields, weapons, communication systems, all far beyond anything humans could comprehend. Or so they believed. In hidden facilities across Earth, teams of scientists and military personnel prepared. Not with traditional weapons, but with something far more sophisticated. Quantum adaptive systems lay dormant, waiting. Nanotechnological networks hummed with potential energy. Captain Rook reviewed invasion maps. Targeted cities. Potential resistance zones. Humans would be categorized, processed, and integrated into the Calron system. Some would become labor workers. Others might serve in lower administrative roles. A typical colonization process. The first warning signs were subtle. A slight electromagnetic fluctuation. A microsecond delay in system response. Most Calron officers were too confident to notice. Dr. Kim allowed himself a small smile. As the fleet entered optimal range, something unexpected began to happen. Communication systems started experiencing unexplained interruptions. Weapon calibration arrays showed minor but increasing inconsistencies. No one on the Calron ships realized the trap was already sprung. Backup systems began to fail. Redundant communication channels collapsed. What seemed like minor technical glitches were actually precision-engineered infiltration points, designed to bypass the most advanced defensive systems. The blue planet below remained calm. Silent. Waiting. Captain Rook barked orders, his confidence slowly turning to confusion. Something was wrong. Very wrong. But by the time he understood the magnitude of the threat, it would be too late. Dr. Kim's fingers moved across one final communication panel. A quantum-encrypted message that would serve as the final trigger. The Calron fleet had dismissed the warning. They believed humans were weak. Primitive. Insignificant. They were about to learn how wrong they were. In the vast darkness of space, the first signs of technological warfare began to unfold. Humanity's response was coming. And it would be swift. Beneath the surface of continents, hidden facilities hummed with quiet intensity. Dr. Kim walked through a massive underground complex, where rows of advanced computers processed information faster than any known technology. The walls were lined with screens showing global data streams, satellite tracking, and complex mathematical models. For decades, humanity had prepared in secret. While governments presented a facade of limited technological progress, a hidden network of scientists, engineers, and military strategists had been working on something extraordinary. They knew Earth might one day face a threat from beyond the stars. The preparation wasn't just about weapons. It was about intelligence. Adaptive systems that could think, predict, and respond faster than any traditional military command. Dr. Kim's team had developed an artificial intelligence called Guardian, a system that could analyze and respond to threats in microseconds. Quantum computing had been their breakthrough. Traditional computers processed information in binary zeros and ones. But quantum systems could exist in multiple states simultaneously. This meant they could solve complex problems that would take traditional computers thousands of years to calculate. Captain Park Ji-eun reviewed the latest system readiness reports. Her team had developed nanotechnological weapon platforms that could be deployed from hidden orbital positions. These weren't traditional missiles or laser weapons. They were intelligent systems that could adapt, redirect, and neutralize threats with mathematical precision. The global defense network was distributed. No single point could be destroyed. Information and control systems were quantum entangled, meaning they could communicate instantaneously across vast distances. If one system was compromised, others would automatically compensate. Satellites disguised as space debris orbited the planet. Communication arrays hidden in mountain ranges. Underwater facilities that could launch defensive platforms from oceanic depths. Every potential weakness had been considered, every scenario wargamed. Dr. Kim understood that technological superiority wasn't about having the biggest weapon. It was about having the smartest system. Guardian could predict enemy movements, interrupt communication systems, and redirect weapon platforms before an invasion force could even realize what was happening. Training had been intense. Military personnel worked alongside computer scientists, quantum physicists, and AI specialists. They weren't preparing for a traditional war. They were preparing for a technological battle that would be won or lost in microseconds. The nanoweapon platforms were particularly ingenious. Tiny machines that could infiltrate enemy systems, causing cascading failures. They could dissolve electronic circuits, redirect energy systems, and create chaos within complex technological networks. Global cooperation had been key. Countries that historically fought each other now worked in perfect synchronization. The threat from beyond Earth had united humanity in ways no previous challenge had managed. Dr. Kim stopped at a massive holographic display showing potential invasion scenarios. Each simulation showed how Guardian would respond to different alien attack strategies. The system had run millions of scenarios, learning and adapting with each simulation. Psychological preparation was just as important as technological readiness. Humanity had to be calm, calculated, ready to respond without panic. Every team member understood their role in this potential global defense. The Calron would discover something unexpected. Humanity wasn't just another primitive civilization to be conquered. They were a species that had been quietly preparing, watching, and waiting. As Dr. Kim returned to his monitoring station, he knew the real battle was about to begin. Years of secret preparation would now be tested. Guardian was ready. The defense systems were primed. The universe was about to learn that Earth was not an easy target. The first signs of conflict were almost invisible. Captain Rook noticed a slight flicker on his command screen, barely a microsecond of interference. Most Calron officers would have dismissed it as a minor technical glitch. But something felt different. Massive Calron battleships entered Earth's orbital range, their weapons charged and ready. Hundreds of vessels blocked out starlight, casting enormous shadows across the planet's surface. Each ship carried enough destructive power to obliterate entire continents. Their confidence was absolute. Dr. Kim watched from the underground facility. His fingers moved silently across quantum encrypted panels. Guardian was awake. Waiting. The first attack wave began. Calron weapon systems powered up, preparing to launch initial bombardment sequences. Targeting computers locked onto major population centers. They expected minimal resistance. Suddenly, strange things started happening. Communication systems began to fragment. Random data streams appeared and disappeared. Weapon calibration arrays showed impossible mathematical sequences. Navigation computers started displaying conflicting information. One Calron battleship's primary weapon system simply stopped working. Then another. Then 10 more. It wasn't a mechanical failure. Something was systematically dismantling their technological infrastructure. Captain Rook shouted orders, but his communication channels were breaking down. Backup systems failed. Redundant networks collapsed. What seemed like minor technical glitches were precise, calculated infiltrations. Guardian was executing a perfect technological warfare strategy. Nanotechnological platforms deployed from hidden Earth locations. Tiny machines infiltrated Calron communication networks, causing cascading system failures. They didn't destroy, they redirected, confused, and systematically disabled. Weapon platforms on Calron ships began targeting their own vessels. Navigation systems sent ships spinning into each other. Energy weapons fired randomly, creating chaos within their own fleet. Dr. Kim watched the holographic displays with calm precision. Each enemy ship represented a complex technological system. And Guardian was systematically taking them apart. The Calron had never encountered a defense like this. Their technological superiority, built over centuries of conquering civilizations, meant nothing against an adaptive, quantum-based defense network. Ships started colliding. Communication became impossible. Weapon systems turned against each other. The invasion fleet was destroying itself from within. Captain Rook realized too late. Humanity wasn't just defending. They were systematically dismantling the entire invasion force with mathematical precision. Quantum-locked weapon platforms emerged from stealth positions. They didn't fire traditional weapons. Instead, they sent precise technological disruption signals that caused complete system failures. Within minutes, entire sections of the Calron fleet simply stopped functioning. Ships drifted. Systems failed. What had looked like an unstoppable invasion force was now a collection of dead metal floating in space. Dr. Kim allowed himself a small smile. Years of secret preparation had paid off. The battle lasted less than 7 minutes. When it was over, not a single Calron vessel remained operational. Hundreds of ships representing centuries of technological development had been completely neutralized. No traditional weapons had been fired. No physical destruction had occurred. Humanity had won through pure technological superiority. Guardian continued monitoring. Just in case. The universe had just learned an important lesson. Earth was not a target. Earth was a technological fortress that nobody saw coming. Humanity had spoken. And the galaxy would listen. The moment of total technological annihilation arrived with silent precision. Dr. Kim watched as Guardian transformed from a defense system into a calculated elimination network. Quantum-locked weapon platforms emerged from hidden locations, orbital positions, underwater facilities, and mountain-based launch sites. These weren't traditional weapons. They were intelligence systems designed to destroy without conventional destruction. The remaining Calron ships tried desperately to regroup. Communication systems fragmented. Navigation computers displayed impossible mathematical sequences. What seemed like random technical failures were actually systematic infiltrations. Nanotechnological swarms deployed from Earth's hidden facilities. Tiny machines smaller than human blood cells began infiltrating Calron technological infrastructure. They didn't just disable, they completely rewrote operational protocols. Captain Rook watched in horror as his command systems collapsed. Weapon arrays redirected randomly. Ships began targeting each other. Complex technological networks turned against themselves with mathematical perfection. Guardian was executing a warfare strategy beyond traditional understanding. Each Calron vessel represented a complex technological system, and the AI was systematically dismantling them piece by piece. Energy signatures from weapon platforms created strange geometric patterns in space. No traditional explosions occurred. Instead, entire ship systems simply stopped functioning. Technological death was silent, precise, clinical. Adaptive AI systems worked faster than any biological intelligence could comprehend. Microsecond responses. Quantum encrypted communication. Total technological domination. The Calron fleet, once considered invincible, became nothing more than floating metal debris. Not through physical destruction, but through complete technological neutralization. Dr. Kim's fingers moved across quantum encrypted panels. Each movement triggered complex elimination sequences. Guardian understood something the Calron never anticipated: true technological warfare wasn't about firepower. It was about intelligence. Massive battleships drifted silently. Complex weapon systems turned into nothing more than expensive metallic coffins. The invasion force was being systematically erased from existence. Communication channels collapsed. Navigation systems failed. Weapon platforms became useless chunks of technology. The Calron discovered that humanity's technological preparation was beyond their comprehension. No traditional weapons fired. No physical explosions happened. An entire invasion fleet was eliminated through pure technological superiority. Captain Rook's final transmission was a burst of fragmented data, a desperate attempt to understand what was happening. But Guardian had already predicted and neutralized every possible communication strategy. The space around Earth transformed. Where hundreds of massive battleships had existed minutes earlier, only scattered technological debris remained. Silent. Cold. Defeated. Humanity had not just defended itself. It had demonstrated a level of technological evolution that the Calron, and potentially any other potential invaders, could never have anticipated. Dr. Kim allowed himself a moment of satisfaction. Years of secret preparation. Countless simulations. Global scientific collaboration. All had led to this moment of absolute technological triumph. Guardian continued monitoring. Analyzing. Preparing. The universe had just received a clear message: Earth was not a target. Earth was a technological fortress that nobody could defeat. Silence returned to space. The battle was over. Humanity had spoken. And the galaxy would remember, the silence after battle was more powerful than the conflict itself. Dr. Kim stood in the underground facility, watching holographic displays that showed the remnants of the Calron fleet, now nothing more than scattered technological debris floating in Earth's orbital space. Communication centers around the world began receiving the first transmissions from deep space monitoring stations. No Calron ships remained. The entire invasion force had been completely neutralized in less than 12 minutes. Captain Park Ji-eun entered the command center, her movements calm and calculated. She understood that this wasn't just a victory. It was a statement to the entire galaxy about humanity's technological capabilities. Guardian continued processing data. Millions of calculations happened in microseconds. The AI was already preparing potential defense scenarios for future potential threats. It had learned. Adapted. Evolved. Global communication networks began sharing the extraordinary event. Not through traditional media, but through secure quantum encrypted channels. No panic. No celebration. Just a calm understanding of what had just occurred. The Calron Confederation would receive a message. Not a traditional communication, but a precise quantum transmission that would demonstrate humanity's technological superiority. Mathematical sequences that would translate into a clear warning: Earth was not a target. Dr. Kim knew this was more than a defensive action. This was a declaration of humanity's readiness. Years of secret technological development had paid off. No traditional weapons were used. No physical destruction occurred. Pure technological intelligence had defeated in supposedly superior civilization. Satellite networks captured the floating debris. Nanotechnological platforms began analyzing the remains of Calron ships. Every piece of technology would be studied. Every system would be understood. The transmission back to the Calron Confederation was simple. A series of mathematical sequences that translated to attempt invasion. Face elimination. Global scientific teams were already preparing. This wasn't just about defense. This was about understanding potential future threats. Guardian had provided unprecedented data about alien technological infrastructure. Captain Park reviewed the final reports. No human casualties. No physical damage to Earth's infrastructure. A perfect defensive strategy executed with mathematical precision. Dr. Kim understood the deeper significance. This wasn't just about protecting Earth. This was about establishing humanity's position in the galactic ecosystem. A clear message that technological intelligence could overcome traditional military superiority. Quantum communication networks began encoding the entire battle sequence. Every microsecond would be analyzed. Every system response would be studied. Humanity was preparing, always preparing. The Calron would tell other potential invaders. Earth was different. Earth was not a target. Earth was a technological fortress that could eliminate an entire invasion force without firing a single traditional weapon. Guardian continued monitoring. Watching. Learning. The underground facility hummed with quiet intensity. Computers processed information faster than any known technology. Holographic displays showed the cold, silent remains of what was once a massive invasion fleet. Dr. Kim allowed himself a small smile. Humanity had spoken. And the galaxy would listen. The aftermath was clear. Earth was ready. Earth was watching. And Earth would defend itself with a level of technological sophistication that no civilization had ever anticipated. Silence returned to space. The message was sent. The galaxy would remember this moment.